Willkommen zu einer neuen Podcast-Folge hier beim Geheimnis des Tees. Ich habe mir heute Verstärkung geholt und wir werden gleich mal mit die Sprache switchen. Und zwar habe ich hier Darjeeling Cup ist ihr Unternehmen. Die süße Swik, herzlich willkommen. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to the podcast. She visited me and we just thought we make a first impression on her tea. And so we will do. And meanwhile, she can tell us a lot of backgrounds about Darjeeling because I have no idea about Darjeeling. Darjeeling and India, it's a completely new field for me. I drink the teas, but the backgrounds and so on, this is completely new for me. So while I brew the tea, please introduce your small company and tell me what kind of teas are you focused on and what brings you into tea?
Okay. So, hi everyone, my name is Swikriti, and I started this project last year in November, so to be fair, not that long ago. And I wouldn't say that I started this from being some kind of tea connoisseur or a long time tea lover, but I found this journey on the way in order to find a way back to my roots and my community. And I felt like that was a long time coming. I had so in Darjeeling, it's usually the locals are not really into the kind of tea that is exported to the outside of Darjeeling or outside of India. And so I was never really exposed to the kind of tea that usually other people or foreigners for us know as Darjeeling tea. And I just wanted to, at some point when I was in Germany, missing home, trying to find something fulfilling to do, I found a way back to my roots and my community to give back to them and to see where I can fit myself into this puzzle. And I had started to get myself into tea around that time through the Taiwanese, Japanese teas. And in my venture to find this very specific Taiwanese tea that my friend had once introduced to me in the university days. And then I used to see a lot of big Darjeeling first flush from 2024, 25, these big crates of Darjeeling, etc. And I would feel the sense of, oh, like, but then what about the people? What about like the story behind it? There's just the brand name. And even sometimes when I would tell people I come from Darjeeling, it would be kind of funny for them because it would sound like almost I come from chamomile or something like that. So I wanted to change that and represent that there is a whole land and there is people behind the tea that they consume here, and wanted to represent that and also help the community back home by only bringing and supporting the locals and small farmers. So that's how I got into this whole venture of tea, and also my small project that started recently.
From the first impression is this is for me that I never expect this to be a Darjeeling tea. That is maybe a Chinese black tea somewhere in the new ones, but this is not. I know Darjeeling tea from a tea bag. It's very embarrassing for me, but it is what it is. I had a friend who sent me some samples, and that was a very green and flowery tea. But this is dark chocolate. This is caramel. This is a huge sweetness. Why it is so different than the normal tea we know?
Thank you.
By the way, it's really funny using the Korean teaware for the Indian tea, but I feel that I needed a little bit bigger teapot to get those flavors out. And porcelain for this fine tea would be better than
Best.
my clay teapots for the Chinese tea.
Definitely, that was a good option to use porcelain today for especially the fine teas like Darjeeling. And the question about why this one tastes so unfamiliar to the regular Darjeeling, I would say first of all, Darjeeling is not really known for other teas except for black teas, usually in the market, and that is kind of like not true because Darjeeling has been producing other specialty teas like oolong and white tea or other specialty teas like even yellow tea, which is rare but still there in the market. And the most special thing about this is that only the small farmers and the small producers are they do have the attention span to make these kind of specialty teas rather than the usually the big industries who have like very big or big estates, sorry, who have very big land and they cannot really focus on a specific kind of tea and they make the very classical black tea. And this one is very special also in terms of how it was made to be, I think.
2 minutes?
Yeah, 2 minutes. Very special in the way how it was made to be. I think it has been inspired from the Taiwanese red oolong style of tea, which is rather more oxidized than the regular style of oolong, and they were definitely inspired from that. And they were experimenting and trying to bring new flavors, new nuances in the Darjeeling tea that the world knows about in order to also stand out from the big estates and show that, oh, we are here, we are also producing really good teas, and here is our product and here is what we create. Yeah.
It's not easy to find those small producers, right?
Oh, it's really, first of all, Darjeeling has only a few. So, for example, a country like Nepal, I think, has only like small farmers and small producers mostly.
Yeah.
But Darjeeling, it's really difficult for them, the state of like during the colonial time, how it was left. Many things in the tea industry are still the same, continuing until this day. So that's why it is very difficult for someone like them, like a small farmer or a small producer, to come into the industry and join in as like part of the Darjeeling tea community, because there was a rule also during that time which was said that only the big estates are allowed to name their teas Darjeeling, because it was like that in that time, like only there was big estates. But that rule currently still applies to this day, and that's the reason why we cannot still call this Darjeeling tea, although it was, let's say, made in the same land by the local people, same, everything is same, but it has to be exported still as Indian tea or tea from the Himalayas. So yeah, that's ironic.
That's really ironic because normally we name the tea after the area, but on the other hand, then Darjeeling is a big is so many teas mixed and called Darjeeling, right?
Yeah, in fact, annually around 40 million kilo of Darjeeling is sold worldwide, but the region itself produces only around 8 to 10 million. So
It's
you
the same
can.
in China.
Oh,
There's some areas, especially the Wuyi Mountains, so they export a lot of tea from them, but it's definitely more than they produce.
exactly.
Whoops.
Yeah, so there have been a lot of blends and fakes in the market. Like, it has also been difficult, I think, for the Darjeeling industry because of that, because the name has been tarnished in a way.
I have these honey. There's honey. There's a little bit black chocolate. Not that much caramel. The other one had
More.
more caramel, but it's still very, very sweet. It's very interesting tea. Beautiful and light. And what I found is also it warms.
Yeah, warmer, right?
Yeah. So it gives me a warmer feeling. And it's interesting because directly brings me in. It wants me to hold for a second, enjoying the aftertaste. There's some vanilla inside when you breathe out later. It's interesting.
That's
The
one.
moving of the tea is interesting.
Yeah, that's one part I love the most
Yeah.
as well about this tea.
It's so complex, but very elegant, complex. That means it's not when you drink it, you cannot feel it. But when you take your time, then there's in the after breath, you breathe out, there's some vanilla. When you breathe it in, you have some dark chocolate. This is quite interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I think
Very fine.
that is what I also usually tell people around whenever I am talking about the two different types of tea I have as a starting, that I chose these as kind of contrasting each other. So for me personally, the black tea, the golden one, I find it to be more soothing. Like I drink it to feel sometimes more with myself inside, like creative, let's say, or cuter. I find that tea very yeah, like
It is. It is.
and this one I feel like grounding more. Like I want more body in my tea. I want there to be like more character. I feel like it. Although like that one has it as well, but yeah.
Yeah, it brings me directly back into my body, giving me these elegant feeling. It's beautiful. But it's definitely not. If someone tells me this is a Darjeeling, I would not believe that. It's a good choice, really.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
So you start with 2 teas.
Yeah, and both of them are from the same tea maker.
Yeah.
And the story is very, very dramatic and amusing. So this one comes from the tea maker. Her name is Yanku, and her tea factory name is Yankee Teas. And they have been around for I think 10 or 15 years now. And the thing about them, the story is very dramatic. Like she's a local in Darjeeling, and she used to be a green leaf dealer, basically like taking from the farmers and selling it to big estates, going from different estates to different estates. So the way she told me the story is that it was difficult in the days to go with, like big green leaves and maybe be at the mercy of these big tea in estates, whether they will take it or not. And if they don't, then her whole payment or her whole day of work, etc., is not, rewarded. And it was already a hard job, and one day it was in a way that she was in some very renowned estate, and the manager kind of disrespected her and the tea green leaves as well, in a way that she that day decided, I will definitely one day show you, I will open my own factory, I will do this in my own land rather than some outsiders doing it by exploiting the local people. And that day it was kind of like a opening for her, which then she made it possible, and then ended up with her family's also support, full family support, and ended up making it into a factory. And she has now a small factory. She is one of them, the small farmers and the small producers, right? She makes her own and supports the local community around by buying their green leaves. And it's a whole nice story to also talk about the tea maker when it comes to Darjeeling teas, because that's rarely heard about. And as a start, I chose their teas to bring to the market, and also to talk about her more. Because I really felt related to her story. And
Yeah, we need more and more of those stories. Also, with The Secret of Tea or the podcast Das Geheimnis des Tees, it's also my vision to support those people who really care for the work, who really passionate about their work. So that's not the tea we have to understand that tea is not a mass product. It's not that it's always made by people, and it's always there are people behind, and these people should live from their work. But often it's not possible, as we now hear it from the direct way. Also, as we talk to Arun, meanwhile the tea summit, he's a small tea producer in Nepal. He's very limited because of the government. He is there's an area, and so he's very limited. He cannot use fertilizers, so it's not possible for them. This is a government project, and it's quite interesting because there are chances, but this is also very hard for the locals to sell their teas far away from the big tea estates, right? So whether they buy it or they don't buy it depends if they have jobs or not jobs.
Exactly.
And support the family or not the family. And I think it's the big vision to support those people. I often saw that in China as well. Very
That's
often.
Yeah, that's really interesting to also hear about Nepal in that way, because I have honestly, even though Darjeeling is so close to Nepal, I have not really had much deeper understanding of their tea industry.
It's also quite interesting. They also have these big tea estates. I was last year I was there in a hidden tea plantation, lost tea plantation, very beautiful area. I think 1,700 meter above sea level, very beautiful, and nobody was there
Wow.
because it was lost. The owner got to prison because he owed too much money, and so this is empty.
It's the same story also in Darjeeling. So many estates are closing down, but also because so there are, I think, in the Darjeeling tea industry, the estate way is that the workers get a certain amount of payment during the whole day if they, let's say, for example, I'm not really sure about the numbers, but I think it's around 10 kg of green leaves. If they collect, then they would get their regular day of payment. But in case they collect more than 10 kg, then there is a bonus system. So to encourage probably to get more green leaves. But for many, I think this has been going on for quite some time, that the bonuses had not been paid out, and there have been, so it's called a bonus strike. So the workers go on a strike because bonuses have not been paid, and even the normal payment is barely fitting for that kind of job. And which then results to gardens shutting down and closing up, while I'm not really sure like how the insurances work for the owners and the big guys up there, but the one who suffers the most, in my opinion, are the workers. Because in Darjeeling, it's like the workers stay inside the tea fields, you know, around, they have their houses. And it's like, what now? Like, then I know from my previous visit to one closed estate that they were then traveling like, I don't know, like half an hour or 1 hour to an estate nearby and working there. So it's like the livelihood is lost. It's really crazy what's happening there.
Interesting. Now it's getting a little sour in the background, but not this uncomfortable way. This is very, and a little bit smoked. There's some smoke, right?
There is
The-
definitely.
It's interesting. You have these, when you really care for the tea, you have these these changing flavors. So now it's hot, but I'm sure when it's cooled down a little bit, it completely changes. That's why sometimes I'm sitting here with a new tea. I got a yellow tea from Ecuador yesterday.
Oh, wow.
That is interesting. We can trade later for you. Maybe it's interesting for you as well. So I just can sit 1, 2, 3 hours just to see how the tea is improving. That's so interesting. It's really hot.
Yeah, really.
There's a little sour note in the background.
Yeah, and the smokiness is coming forth now
Yeah,
from the previous brew.
interesting tea. So far, I really enjoy it. So never expect that this is a Darjeeling.
Thank you.
And I really enjoy those kind of black teas. And I emphasize this change. I really like this change to those floral notes in black tea, because normally we know just the normal Assam black tea or the Lipton tea. That's also Indian teas, right? But it's very small and it's too the fruitiness is missing, but it's strong and it keeps your eyes open as well. But this is the tea we normally know
I
from
think
India.
the reason why that is can also be because the plant is completely different. The Assam one is the Camellia sinensis assamica, right? And in Darjeeling, although there are some cultivars which have been mixed with the assamica, but mostly I think are the we call it China Jat, and it is the sinensis from China. So also the reason why it can be more sweeter and fruity in a way for Darjeeling is because of the higher elevation. Assam is not as high and also is much warmer than Darjeeling. So that's the reason why during the British colonial time, when they wanted to get into the tea industry, they were trying to because when they discovered that there's tea in India, right? They were trying to also replicate the kind of fruity floral Chinese tea from China, and they took some seeds to Assam first and tried to develop it, try to see how it works. But that was like a failed mission for them. It did not work out in that kind of terrain and that kind of temperatures. Yeah.
Interesting. It's a beautiful tea. So now your mission is to bring the real Darjeeling tea to the European customers.
Yeah. So I mean, I think we we should not call it real Darjeeling tea because trademark and all. So
It's from the area, and for me, it's a real Darjeeling tea because it's growing in Darjeeling. So
yeah.
and there's a lot of Darjeeling teas not growing in Darjeeling.
Oh yeah.
So they mix it.
They blend it with with
uh,
other teas and just it's like not even few percentage of it is Darjeeling, and obviously the flavor is not, because Darjeeling is so subtle in a way that you don't mix anything with it to try to nuance, bring different flavors, because it in itself has so many complex notes that you have to have that alone on its own. So my mission is now to actually go beyond the tea itself. I think people know Darjeeling, the name is quite famous and it's like worldwide known already. But my mission is to kind of revive the industry back home, to also make locals who have been part of the industry as laborers for so long, to have them as the main ownership, like they are owning their tea, they are owning what they make out of it. So that is what I would like to do from this project.
that's really beautiful, really beautiful, and
Thank
that
you.
also gives us the chance to try some other kind of teas to help and support the locals is always a mission, but it's also because the big companies always have so many steps between.
Yeah, exactly.
They have the drivers, they have the ones who bring them here with a ship or with a fly, and there are so many steps you all pay for that. And the quality at the end is slow. So is very small. So my mentor always says, if you have a product you sell very cheap, then you need you need big amount first of all, and you need infrastructure,
Oh yeah.
because to get it to and at the end of the day, the quality cannot be good because too many people has to be paid, and the amount of tea is too huge, too is too much. But when you go with small and passionate tea sellers, the quality is always much better, and you know what you're drinking. It's your choice what you drink, what you consume. It is your choice, and you should care for it. And the big companies, they cannot care for it. It's not that they don't want, they cannot.
Yeah, because of the amount of product that they need to handle in, I mean, with anything, I think, right? Like if you have a huge number industrial way that you are trying to make something, you cannot really go into the nitty-gritty of every single detail of your product, and that's what comes with it, unfortunately. But at the same time, I would also maybe like to point out that there are some really nice estates who are making some wonderful Darjeeling tea. They have been producing it for obviously like generations and generations, and it's, I think the care that requires for this specific tea is a bit more complex. Like there cannot be any machineries involved, especially when you are plucking the tea. There is a very specific kind of plucking that is standardized in Darjeeling as like the higher grade, like it's called the 2 leaves and 1 bud. So these are the most delicate parts of the plant, which the only humans can arrange it in a way that they might pluck it and not destroy it. And at the same time, the terrain is so difficult to reach with machines and all. So that's also one of the reasons why the like labor has been so, it's so dependent on the laborers. So if you don't have these very laborers who pluck the leaves at the root, you will not get the tea that someone is drinking miles away, right? So it's really important to treat them fairly, is what I want to also bring out from this project, because I know like people love to drink tea, they enjoy their tea, they like to get very technical with how it was processed, how it was made, what elevation, but sometimes rarely question about the workers, how they have been treated.
There is a beautiful face of tea, and I find it very often when it comes to tea. There's always a good picture from tea. You're more healthy. You can help your digestion. Your skin looks more beautiful, and there are beautiful workers in the
Yeah.
field, and they're plucking the tea leaves in the hands. So it's always very beautiful. But that there's also the black side
Yes.
that the most people try to avoid. We also have monocultures. We also have tea plantations that really harm our soil. So we have to care our choices, care for our planet as well.
Exactly. And like sometimes I think about it, like if you, I mean, the tea bushes, the way that we see as of now is all man-made. It's for us to consume what we consume now. But if you allow the plant to grow, then it might grow taller than you.
Yeah, the
And
trees.
yeah, there are trees. So it's all very kind of for us, like we are doing this for us. And that brings another level of thinking to it, that oh, like I must appreciate it in more depth, more level, because it's the plant as well who is at the end of the day giving us, like we're taking from it, but yeah, giving us these flavors.
And it's interesting because the plant gives us back exactly how we treat it.
Exactly.
So, but just most of the people do not feel it anymore. That's quite interesting because we need sugared iced tea, we need sugared drinks, and there's barely drinks without alcohol. When you go to a party, you have to drink alcohol. So it's quite interesting. So tea is always looking good, but there's also bad side. And by the way, I'm currently writing my book, and there will be definitely a part of it that there's the bad phase of tea because it belongs together. You can only enjoy things when you know the opposite.
Yeah, exactly. Also, in terms of health, I think the industry has been so well shaped in a way that all you know and you associate tea with healthy living, healthy lifestyle, longevity. But of course, tea as well consists of caffeine. Tea can also do things to you that caffeine sensitive people might not be able to handle. Or in a way, I think one thing that is more or less talked about is the iron consumption. So for people who, let's say, are vegan or vegetarian in their diet, they might already have low iron consumption, and if you're taking tea along with your
I
food.
supplement iron, and the doctor did not tell me where I have to care about. Not with tea and coffee, and not with magnesium, not with milk and calcium together. So for me, it's really hard because starting with the breakfast, okay, not on empty stomach. Then in the morning, I start with tea. So it's not possible to take any iron supplements. So I have to wait 2 hours. Then I can take the supplement, but no milk because the calcium also stops the iron. Not too much iron because iron avoids iron, so that destroys iron
And you can
together.
have iron poisoning as well.
Yes. So iron, to consume iron or to supplement iron isn't that easy. And
Exactly.
tea also helps for us women. We have to care for it. Definitely.
Exactly. I also suffered some kind of similar consequences when I felt I was having some caffeine overdose, because I am actually sensitive to the caffeine, but
too.
never with the tea. And
Interesting.
I felt like I was having, like, I was feeling this heart palpitation, like very strong. I was doing nothing and it was going up to 170, 180. And then slowly and steadily, it took a long time to realize, with all the blood tests, ER, and so many things, that I might not be getting the iron, like tea might be blocking the iron that I'm taking from my food, because I was mostly either consuming tea after or before. So exactly the wrong time to consume it in. And yeah, these things are also not well known, I would say.
It's interesting that you mentioned coffee. Yesterday I was in a coffee tea event. So Ilya and Xiancha did this beautiful workshop for us. And it was interesting because coffee and tea, and the coffee was really, really interesting because I never drink coffee and I also did not like it, but I taste a lot of things. But I just had a small amount, like I drink the tea, just a small, and just having it in my mouth, and I directly feel my heart. It directly cleans my head. It goes directly into my head, and I directly feel my heart start pumping. And it was just a zip.
Oh my God.
So that's why it's interesting that you say it's caffeine, and tea, caffeine. It's the same. Biological, it's the same. Scientific, it's the same. But tea has so much more components to balance it out.
And the effect you have, like, I usually tell people how coffee caffeine usually goes like in a graph, that you go high and low like that. But tea is more like in a curved way, that you go down slower, at least.
Yeah. So it's not pumping my heart that, but also with tea you can have a caffeine overdose. And I had a lot of tea drunken experience. That's why I know that it is possible. Let's say so. So 2 minutes. That's a certain.
Plus, yeah, 2 minutes.
So how many infusions can we do? I think it's more than 3, right? But 3 is perfect.
Yeah, 3 is perfect. Usually, I think it depends. I tell people to just go according to their perspective, because it's different for different people. But I go for at least 4. The last one is a bit diffused for me, but I love it still. And after that, I don't continue anymore.
Yeah, with the other tea we had. So it's still a beautiful tea. So normally I never have that long infusions. I always have these short ones. But she's a profi. She's the one who's selling the teas. She knows her teas, and her recommendation was, yeah, this is how I prepare the tea today. And 2 minutes, that was, took me a little of 2 minutes, really? Is that too strong? But no, it's not too strong. Definitely
Yeah.
not. And it also depends on the teapot, I think, because there's still some air. The leaves still have place to unfold. There's a lot of space to unfold. So, yeah, I think it's also a good choice for us today.
Yeah, I think this very short infusions like the Kung Fu style, right? I tried that with Darjeeling tea, but I don't think it sustains well, mostly because I was so confused and I also had to ask a tea maker back in Darjeeling as well, like why is this so and what he considers. And apparently it might be because the Darjeeling is like the leaf is super delicate and they also only pluck the most delicate parts of the leaves, that they cannot really sustain the immediate infusions back and forth. So we have to give it more time to unfurl and bring out those flavors. And I think also with immediate infusions, we might accidentally make the tea too brittle and it might tear, and then the tannins come out, and then it's too bitter for some. But at the same time, again, it depends on perspective. This, I think the golden one does not. I find the Western style or like the 2 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minute style better. But this one, I have noticed that the short infusions bring out a deeper flavor,
Oh, okay.
stronger, I would say.
Interesting. So I have to try it.
Mm.
Yeah, now the smoke is completely there. But it still have this sweet note behind.
Yeah.
But definitely it's focusing on the smoking right now, right?
Oh, yes. Exactly. More smokiness and less dark chocolatey now.
It's interesting. It's always interesting how the tea produced and to try it. And there's also a nice story behind it. Yeah, I like that. Teas with a story. And it's getting bitter in the back, but not in a heavy bitter way. You still have the sweetness, still is staying in the mouth. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
I find it very special that I think it's called the longevity, or I don't know, like when the taste lasts a bit longer after you've swallowed.
Huigan is the Chinese version, is this sweetness, after sweetness, we say.
Okay. Yeah, I really like that a lot
Yeah.
in teas.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, for doing this spontaneous podcast episode for YouTube, our first impression. So we link your shop below in the description box. Also Instagram and whatever you like, we link in and then you just have a look and try her teas. It's really worth it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening. Bye bye.
Bye bye.